Lighting can account for 10 to 25% of business electricity bills. For some companies, it can be as high as 50%. Fortunately, reducing your lighting bills is easy. Replacing older lighting with LED alternatives can also reduce lighting energy costs by up to 80% or more. So, what lights should you be changing in your business or home, and what are the best LED alternatives? To find out, I visited Villeroy & Boch, who recently upgraded the high bay lighting in their warehouse. But to start this report, I spoke to Vincent Corns from Easy Being Green to get his tips on how to save money when replacing your old lighting. Vincent Corns, welcome to Smart Money. We're here at Villeroy & Boch, a company that's doing a lot of lighting changes. Now, if you look at showrooms and if you look at reception areas like this, a lot of them are using halogen downlights. From an energy usage and energy saving point of view, what's so wrong with halogen downlights?
Yeah, John, the key limitation of a halogen downlight such as this one is that they use a lot of energy and they generate a lot of heat. And that also means that they don't last very long.
So with all that heat, are there safety issues with halogen downlights?
Yes, absolutely, John. Look, they operate at temperatures of up to 370 degrees, and they have been known to cause house and business fires. So the other less dramatic implication of all that heat production is that it costs extra to run your air conditioning to remove that heat from the building.
What are the alternatives, the energy-saving alternatives to those halogen downlights?
Yeah. Okay, John, look, there's some great alternatives. So this, for example, is an LED downlight. So it uses around 10% as much energy as the halogen, and it lasts 25 times as long. So what that means is that while the energy savings is very impressive on itself, it also means that one of these is 24 of these that you don't need to buy, and 24 trips up and down a ladder by a handyman that you don't need to pay for.
Don't have to pay for, okay,
yes,
that's a good point.
Excellent.
So what kind of LEDs are available then, and what are the alternatives for the LEDs?
Yeah, okay. So look, there's really two options for you, John. The first one is an LED like this. It's going to cost you about $10 to $20, and it's going to pay for itself within 12 months. Simply pull the old halogen out of the socket and plug in this one.
So that's the simple alternative.
That's the simple alternative, and it's great for non-dimmable situations.
Okay, and what's the alternative then? If you want to dim your halogen downlights, what's the alternative there?
Okay, look, I'd recommend something like this, John. So this is an LED luminaire. So a product like this, obviously you remove the whole fitting that the light's located in and you slot this one in its place. These are a little bit more expensive, so you're looking at $30 to $45. The good news for customers in New South Wales and Victoria is that there are government incentives which will reduce that price down to around $15. So that's a payback of well less than 12 months. So really, changing to LED downlights, changing halogens to LED downlights is a no-brainer financially.
We're here at the offices at Villeroy & Boch. This is very much a traditional Australian office. What's the normal kind of lighting that's used here?
Without a doubt, the most common light that you find in businesses in Australia is a T8 fluorescent just like this one. It uses 36 watts of power, and the control gear in the light behind it uses an additional 8 to 10 watts. Most of your viewers, like myself, would have spent much of their adult lives sitting under a light just like this one. The slightly more modern fluorescent tube is this one, which is the T5, and it's exactly what they have here at Villeroy & Boch.
So what's the energy-saving alternative to these lights? Is that also LED?
Correct. And just like was the case with the downlights outside, there's basically two options. The first option is that with minor changes to the existing fitting, we can modify the fitting to work with an LED tube such as this one.
Okay, so you take out the old, you take out the old fluorescent tube, you slightly modify it, and you can just slot that one right in.
That's correct. That's correct. The other alternative, as was the case with the downlight, is to replace the entire fitting with an LED luminaire such as this one. So in terms of savings and costs, the LED tube retrofit will save you roughly 60% of your energy at a cost of about $35 per tube. The panel, on the other hand, is going to cost about $135 per fitting, but the savings will increase to around 70%.
Now imagine I'm a business, my cash flow is not that good at the moment. I want to do this, but I don't have the money spare. What kind of incentives are available to help me put this kind of lighting in?
Well, look, for viewers in Victoria, we can offer a free supply and install of a product like the T8 LED at no cost under the Victorian Energy Efficiency Target. So Easy Being Green and many other companies offer this service, provided who you go for. Make sure you get a product that you trust from a brand that you know.
Now, you're talking about a lot of savings there. How can you guarantee those savings? Is that possible?
Absolutely. So if we were to replace a 60-watt incandescent bulb, such as this one, with an LED, we'd use an 8-watt, which produces exactly the same amount of light. So the only variable is how many hours the light runs for each year. So provided the old light and the new light run for the same amount of hours, then your savings are 100% guaranteed.
We're here in the warehouse at Villeroy and Boch. What kind of high bay lighting is traditionally used in a warehouse like this, and what are the energy-saving alternatives?
So we recently changed 53 mercury vapor high bays, just like this one, to 53 Philips green up LEDs like this one. So the difference is that the mercury vapor uses 400 watts of power, whereas the green up high bay uses 104 watts of power. So that's a saving of 300 watts per light, and there's 53 of them in this room.
So you're going to see a huge saving financially there.
Well, these lights operate for approximately 2,250 hours per year, which means that the savings will be roughly $10,000 per annum.
And that's just here in the warehouse alone?
That's just here in the warehouse. And the best part of it is that we did this project under the New South Wales Energy Savings Scheme. So that means that 66% of the capital cost was provided as an energy incentive. So that means that Villeroy and Boch will receive a payback of approximately 6 months for this project.
And what incentives are available in other parts of the country?
So there's schemes similar to the one here in New South Wales operating in Victoria and South Australia. There's a scheme starting in the ACT very soon, and we're hoping that the other states will follow suit shortly.
Sterling Warlow, you're with Villeroy and Boch. Financially, you must be very happy with this upgrade.
Yes, we are. We looked at a lot of options and came up with this one in the end. I think from a top-line view, we'll probably be saving about 70% per annum on our power bills out here, so that's a great win for us.
I've seen the before photograph of the lighting as it used to be, and I've seen the after photograph, and seeing it here today, it's very, very bright. From an OH&S point of view, you must have some benefits from that too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great consideration for us as well, the safety and well-being of our team out here. And certainly from what we've seen since we've installed it in the last week or so, the guys are a lot happier. They're working a lot more. Productivity has grown, but also they can make out some of the small detail they couldn't in the past, so it's very good.
Let's talk productivity. How often did the old-fashioned lights that you had here, how often did they blow, and what were the cost consequences of that?
Yeah. Well, we were going through a period there where about every quarter we'd have to replace a great number of these things, and that would involve getting tradies out with a scissor lift and sort of driving around here, disrupt our business for a whole day. A whole working day would be lost, so that's a great expense to us because it's a lot of productivity down the drain when we have to take the warehouse offline like that.
And I guess with the long life lights you've got now, you've eradicated that problem?
Absolutely. These things are a fantastic product. They're a Philips product, so they stand behind them. And the guys who did the install, the business who did the install, very professional from go to woe. It was really fast, seamless, fantastic.
Final question for other companies who might be looking to copy what you've done and upgrade their high bay lighting. What advice would you give them?
Investigate it thoroughly for each your own circumstances, but we found it worked for us. So I would say go with a reputable installer, go with a good product. As I say, Philips, you can't go wrong, and you'll get a good result at the end like we did. Very happy with it.
As you just saw, making the switch to LED lighting can save you a lot of money. When it comes to upgrading to LED lighting, I found 3 key things that all people should do. First up, when buying long-life LED lighting, make sure you buy well-known brands that will guarantee their lighting. That way, if a light doesn't last long, you can get it replaced. Secondly, if you're getting a company to install LED lighting, check that they've done similar installations elsewhere. Where possible, try and get references for their work from other companies. Finally, if your state or territory offers incentives that reduce the cost of upgrading to LED lighting, then take full advantage of them. It can significantly reduce the cost as well as the payback time. It also means that your financial savings will kick in sooner as well.